I got a theory. There are two kinds of guy in the world. There's the one who wants to be James Bond and the one who would secretly love to be Jason Bourne. Those people who want to be Jason Bourne kind of like their patina. Those people who want to be James Bond, not so much. Let's have a talk about that. Hi, welcome back to Not So Obvious Watches. I'm Pete McConville. Let's have a little chat about patina. Now, the first thing I would say is this is very personal, very subjective, very self-referential. One of the things about a watch is I believe every watch is a little mirror and it reflects back at its wearer, or it reflects back at whoever sees it, things about the person who's looking at the watch. As a result, it's very personal. So I'm going to be talking about what I see when I see patina. I'm going to be talking about why I like patina. Some of you are going to, I know, because this is what happened with my Rolex video. Some of you are going to feel all offended about what I see somehow means for you. But the thing is, I know full well that what I see is personal to me. It doesn't reflect on you. There is no need for you to defend why you don't like patina. There's no need for you to defend yourselves here. This is about what I see. So then the good question, a very valid question is, well, what the hell use is this video? Why should I put out a video which is very self-referential and maybe applicable to one person on the whole planet? Well, the first is that I think that when you try and understand the point of view of someone that isn't you, that shares a very different perspective, that is in itself valuable. We spend so much time imagining that we all see the same world, when in fact we all live in our own little worlds and see very different things, that I think that sharing what we see, even when it's different to everyone else, has a value all of its own. The second thing is I run a YouTube channel and I've got to create content. And so this was a good idea and I figured I'd put it out. So either one of those for me is a perfectly good idea, perfectly good reason to put out this video. Okay, so all of that said, let's kick it off with, well, what is patina? For me, patina is any damage that the watch has accumulated over time or damage that the watch has kind of brought in and made part of itself over time. Damage which the watch got yesterday, whether that's some wear or a scuff or a scratch, is not patina tomorrow. It's patina in 5 years time, 10 years time, 20 years time, when the harsh edges are worn off, when the scratches have become a bit dulled, when everything's kind of worn into the watch and become part of the watch. So that's the first thing I'd say. So having decided what patina is, now you've kind of got to decide, well, what is your watch going to be? How do you think of your watch? Do you think of your watch as like a parade uniform or cams or battle fatigues? Do you think of your watch like dress shoes or do you think of them as work boots? Do you think of your watch as a Conker's Queen car where on weekends you go out and clean out the exhaust pipe with a toothbrush? Or is it a club racer with blued exhaust pipes and soot on the back from the anti-lag system and some rubber roll off from the tires accumulating in the wheel wells? What is the watch to you? Is it a thing that lives and breathes and does stuff, or is it a display piece, a piece of jewelry which is to be sort of cosseted and kept behind glass? Both of those are perfectly valid, but each of us, I think, sees our watch and our watches in slightly different ways. And depending on which one you are, you're either going to be for patina or not. Now, the next thing is, remember how I said watches are like little mirrors and they reflect back at us who we think we are. So the next question is, well, who do you think you are? If you're a photographer, are you Richard Avedon taking pictures of royals and movie stars, or are you Robert Capa storming the beaches of Normandy with the troops? If you're a band, are you the Beatles or the Rolling Stones? If you're an artist, are you Jeff Koons, all pop art balloons, or are you Damien Hirst with cut up dead animals? If you're a writer, are you a a brawler with words like Ernest Hemingway, or are you something of a dandy like F. Scott Fitzgerald? Depending on which one of those you think you are and where you think your watch fits, what you think your watch is, you're either going to be very much for patina or not for patina, or against it. Now, look at me. I am not pretty. I have had, my body is well worn. I've got swollen knees and ankles and wrists from numerous reconstructions. I've got bits of teeth missing from years of not playing football. I've got half a finger missing because of a workplace accident. I've got a big scar up one leg from where I had some surgery after a rugby accident. I got a big scar on one arm from where I was attacked by a dog. And I'm okay with that. That's who I am. I like that my body has lived a pretty full life. So when my watch reflects that back at me, because it's a bit battle scarred, it's a bit scratched up, it's a bit scuffed, I'm okay with that look. And I don't care. Oh, now, a lot of people will say things like, well, that might make sense if you were the ones who put the scratches on, or you were the ones who did the damage, because then the damage reminds you of something that you did. I don't really see it that way. I don't care whether it's my patina, whether it's my damage, or whether it's I bought a vintage watch and it came that way. My relationship with a watch that's a bit beaten up, that I've bought beaten up, is more like two footballers that never actually played together, but can still swap stories about the battles they were in, and the good times and the bads, and the injuries they sustained and fought through. I don't care that the watch's injuries aren't my injuries. It's just, it doesn't matter that we didn't play together. It just matters that we both played. It doesn't matter that we don't have the same stories. It just matters that we have stories. And so that's kind of how I look at it. You can wrap all of that up and actually put a philosophical name to it. The Japanese have done exactly that. They call it wabi-sabi. Wabi-sabi is big and complex and has all sorts of ways of looking at it, and it's all very zen. But very briefly, here's some takeaways. It's a way of life that appreciates and accepts complexity, but at the same time values simplicity. And it acknowledges three basic realities. Nothing lasts, nothing is ever finished, and nothing is ever perfect. So embracing it is as easy or as difficult as accepting you for who you are, imperfections at all. It's about embracing where you are, not wishing you were something else, and not desperately trying to make yourself into something that you're not. It's about simply being happy with what you've got. And that's something I try and do with all my life. And it's something that I like in my watches. As I say, my watches represent me. My watches are little mirrors that shine back at me who I think I am. And so that's what patina does. It reflects back at me that nothing is permanent, that nothing is perfect, nothing is finished, and that's fine. So let's go right back to the beginning. I'm not trying to convince you that you should love patina. There's a whole other philosophical way of looking at the world that would reject everything I just said, and that's fine. I'm not trying to convert you to something. I'm just trying to help you understand what other people see. If, on the other hand, when you see someone like me wearing a watch that's been a bit beaten around, you wonder what homeless person I stole it from, I get that. That's fine. That's why the world is interesting, because we're all a little bit different. Anyway, I've been Pete McConville. This has been Not So Obvious Watches, and I'll see you later. Bye.